All right, take two. We're in.
All right, we'll give this a try again.
All right, now I'm going to see if it pops up here and see what it looks like.
We are CCSK Law here at Clancy's Irish Pub here in Portage with Kirk Kazmazak, Isaac Carr, and Barbara Kane, the birthday girl.
Yeah.
That's right. Enjoy.
Now that's better. That looks better on here.
That's good.
I'm assuming it sounds okay too.
CCSK Law.
Yep.
Much better.
Awesome.
We needed to take two, but we're back.
Technical difficulties, because that never happens on our show.
Right? It seems like whenever we get on here, we have a technical difficulty.
RG's our tech guy.
He really is our tech guy.
So we'd always mess it up. It's
RG is the most tech-savvy guy in there, really.
Well, being in broadcasting for years will
he's got that. Yeah, he's got that thing. He's used to doing that.
He knows how to work it. So,
but someone else who's very tech-savvy, this lady right over here, right? So,
everybody, Narina and Lindsay both say it's much better.
Good.
Awesome.
Good job, babe.
Let's to Clancy's. Interesting, good food.
Right?
I got like a cabbage sauerkraut ball.
Is that what that is?
That's cabbage sauerkraut ball with sour cream.
Yeah.
And then there's cheesy garlic bread.
What is this sauce?
Fantastic.
I don't know.
It's
like a spicy. Yeah, it's good. It's like a spicy.
I know what I forgot what the name of it is, but I've had this before and I like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an orange sauce, delicious, spicy.
Is it like the Chipotle ranch?
Well, it's kind of like
maybe something like that.
It's kind of like it's a little spicy, so it's kind of a Chipotle ranch.
I can see that.
So.
Yep.
And so listen, I'm just trying to hit all the things we hit the first time. Just
we are tips from the bar.
We are tips
That's
from the
what
bar.
We're doing right here. We're on a tour.
We're on our tour.
We're up
in Portage, Indiana, up on the north side of Portage.
That's right.
And I wish this place was closer because it's really cool. It's about 26 minutes for me, so I don't get a chance to come up here. But there's 2 pool tables, 3 dartboards, and other stuff on that side in the bar, and there's room in the back, and there's stuff out front. And that about covers everything we talked about.
Food right here.
And the food.
Got a couple beers.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Always good. So,
but
back to the barber.
The barber?
The barber show.
The barber show. Welcome to the barber show.
Yeah.
All things barber and barber related.
Yeah, that kind of works. See, you got your own life now. There you go.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do so the audience can get to know you a little bit?
Yep, I'm gonna.
Even though everybody tends to know Barbara, I mean, there's a lot of people out there like,
that's true.
That's Barbara. She's literally had people come up and be like, "Are you Barbara Kane?" And she's like, "Yeah." Can I sign this?
Are you
they don't say, "Can you sign this?" But I do get. I follow you on Facebook, and I say, "So are we friends on Facebook?" And they say, "No, I just follow your posts."
Oh wow, that's kind of cool.
I get that very often, and sometimes, like if it's a guy, sometimes I'm like, "Is this in a creepy way? Should I be concerned?" Right?
Yeah.
But no, it's usually just they've heard of me from someone and. Didn't think it was appropriate to send a friend request since they never met me, so they just follow me.
Just follow you around like a stalker.
Yeah.
That's what business pages are for.
But what has drawn such an audience?
Great question. Almost like it was planned.
That's crazy.
So I teach businesses how to grow, and I specialize in newer businesses and smaller businesses. So typically businesses that have like 1 to 5 people on their team and that are either at a certain point of success already and they're just trying to make their way up to that next level. Or I have other people who have come to me and they said, I don't know how to make this work. I've been in business for 6 years and I've never cut a profit. How do I do this? So I take people who are just either not even in business yet or have been and not succeeding, and even people who have been succeeding but they're ready for the next level, and I teach them how to do it.
Awesome. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that start businesses and they're doing it for a year or two and they're like, man, I'm just like maybe they're starting in their part-time or something like that, trying to get going, and they just can't put the pieces together to make it work. They don't want to, and that's where you can come in and kind of look at everything as a broad overview and be able to say, nope, you're doing just this, tweak this.
Right. Well, what I found, because I've been studying it for a long time now, is that the number one reason that most small businesses fail is that they lack the resources, connections, and education that they need. Okay. And so that's what I base my business on, is providing those things to entrepreneurs, no matter what level they're at, no matter what industry they're in. So I help them to find those resources. And sometimes it's a matter of sending them to free resources. Sometimes it's a matter of me holding their hand, teaching them. And sometimes it's a matter of saying, hey, you need an assistant to do these things for you.
Or, hiring professionals to help you.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, and then another...
That happens.
Right? Another thing that I've found is people do things in the wrong order. So they decide they want to do a business, and then they build a website. And then they realize that now they want to make a logo and they want to have a mission statement and they want to have all this stuff, and everything they put on their website doesn't match all the stuff they want now.
And do you go, wait, do you have any customers?
Right. And so they do things in the wrong order because somebody told them they needed to do this. And so without doing any research or consulting an expert, they just kind of jump on everything.
Tips from the bar.
Yeah.
I'd rather take tips from a friend at a bar
Someone
than
at the
someone
bar.
who passed the bar.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in there.
That's
They'd rather
very
just,
similar thing.
buddy says, oh, yeah, you need a website. Oh, yeah, you need to get that.
Yeah, you
need
just
to do
launched that website. People are going to flock to
Yeah,
it. You
yeah,
know?
go
Build it and they will
Build
come.
it, they'll come.
It doesn't work that
Build
way,
it,
right?
stop.
You know, I've heard attorneys talk about that too. We're going to just build this great website. Once we get online, then it's going to just flow.
That's it. Everything's going to
It's
explode.
just going to explode. And it just
Without
doesn't
any
look that.
plan to do any marketing or to actually have a
Just the
consistent branding
fact of putting
campaign.
the website up will bring everybody.
That's it.
Let alone that there's billions of websites out there,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the chance of being seen is ridiculously low without the effort.
Now, 20 years ago, building a website, just building it, people would come because
Right.
you were one of the only people with a website, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Today, that doesn't
Absolutely.
work.
Yeah, it just doesn't get the recognition. You got to stand out. You got
Right.
to get unobscure.
Yes.
Now, Barbara, you specifically have something. I've seen this thing. It's a big point. It's a roadmap, like
Yeah.
from like point to point. Like this is the order that you launch your business in. For the most part, like right, it just walks you through. It's actually a giant road, and it has like the map and then like the different stations for like what you need to do at different points.
Really?
I do, yeah.
That
It's
sounds
really
cool.
That was actually several years in the making, and it was in my head for a long time. And so, like, I knew the map, right? I knew where people needed to go. And so if someone would come to me and I'd listen to where they're at, what they've tried, where they're trying to go, and I would know right away which stage they're in.
Right.
And I'd be able to say, this is what you need to do next. Quit worrying about this and this. This is what you need to focus on.
Right.
And then I had one person say to me, well, what all do you do? You always say you do everything, like anything. One of my 30-second commercials used to be, I help you grow your business, whether everything from starting a business to making money while you sleep and literally everything in between.
Right.
And so one lady actually put me on the spot and said, what does that mean? Be more specific. And I was like, anything you could think of in your business, right? But
Talk
she
for
kept,
an hour.
yes, and she kept saying like, give me some like tangible. And so then that came to my head, the roadmap, right? Like all the things. So I said, well, first you need a vision and a mission statement. You got to have your goals. You got to have time management. Time management's one of the main things that most humans fail to master.
Right.
And then they try to go into business and take on more. And then they couldn't even master their time when they didn't have a business. So how do they expect to do that when they do?
It's kind of like having kids.
Yes.
When you have kids, all of a sudden you realize, what did I do with all that time I had?
That is
I remember
so
having that conversation with my wife after we had kids. It's like, what did we do?
right. What did we used to do
So
before
yeah,
this,
you,
right?
you start to realize there's some time management issues, and so yeah. Well,
Right.
you're right. I agree. I see that a lot with businesses, and I think it's interesting that you took and made this visual representation so that
Yes.
people can look at it and go, oh,
It was neat.
there's all that there.
Yes.
Because really one of the biggest problems we have in general with business, entrepreneurship, anything, even in law and all that, is people don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. That's true.
And so when you don't know what you don't know, it's hard to understand. But if they can get that visual representation, they can kind of see where there's things to go and things to do. They don't have to know it all. They know you know it all.
She knows.
And so that's
Yeah.
where you can come in and you can say, okay, here's where we're at. This is right. We got all this stuff to do. Don't worry about it right now. I'm going
Right.
to guide you through it. Just start right here.
Yeah. And and I like to say too, I don't know it all, but I do know
The
like,
visual path.
I can't change a tire, for instance, right,
Yeah.
on a car. But when it comes to business and computers, I do know a lot.
Right.
And so that visual did help not only her, but other people too, because then I've been able to, somebody would come in and say, this is what I'm struggling with. And instead of just telling them this is where you could go, I'm able to
You
whip
can
out the
show
roadmap and say, okay,
Oh,
so
this is where
here's,
you're at?
right, here's where
Come this far?
you're at right now. But did you do all this stuff before?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, let's go back to step one.
Yep.
Let's build the strong foundation before you try to market to nobody that knows that you're there.
Right.
All right. Want to quick shout out to RG, who's jumping on, saying hey.
Hey, RG.
Yeah, that's right. We did it. We got it set up. Only took 2 tries.
I'm not sure what my wife's comment is. Video games, LOL, and slept.
That's what you did
That's
with your
what
free
you did.
time. She's saying, yeah, what did you do before kids? Video games and
Yes,
sleep.
that is true. We did. We used to play. Back then, we had a PlayStation. What we play? We used to play Abe's Odyssey was an old game on PlayStation. It was
Okay.
we both got into it. It was great.
She was a gamer too?
Oh yeah, a little bit. She doesn't
That's
play
awesome.
much. She does got a couple of them. She likes like the Crash Bandicoot type games. And
Oh, yeah.
that kind of thing,
That's
so.
fun.
True love.
So yeah, so you're right. You said you don't know everything,
Right.
but I mean, nobody knows everything. There's too much to know.
Right.
So I think what people need to do, and I think people they get starstruck, so they see some of these big names that are out there, and they go and they're looking around like, oh, I see this big name, so I follow this person on social media, and they try to grab little pieces, but they don't get any real directional, concrete. Hey, this is you, this is me, we're here, this is the path to take, because they're kind of looking. It's almost like looking for all the little green lights to line up for it to be perfect. So what they should do is, again, in my opinion, is look for somebody that knows a lot more than you.
Right, that's true.
Look for somebody that knows more than you, and then go to them and say, okay, help me out with this. And that's exactly what we're talking about here, is being able to say, hey, look, you know this stuff. You know how to take and translate it to them so they can learn it and grow.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about.
For sure. And even the things I don't know, I usually know another expert who does know it. So for instance, if someone comes to me and they're struggling with their business finances, or they're, I say, well, you need a bookkeeper.
Right.
Or they're like, well, I'm afraid of getting sued. I say, well, you probably need a business attorney, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a bookkeeper or a business attorney,
Right.
but I know them, right?
You happen to know.
Do you know anybody good? I don't. But
Well, but
no,
don't
that's
get carried
interesting.
away.
Okay. All right. I'll try to be a little humble. So, but your focus there, and that's definitely something that we believe strongly in. A team of professionals. We say
Absolutely.
that all the time, right?
Constantly.
I would never step in and be like, I'm your one-all stop. This is it. You come to me, and we'll get everything. No, you need an accountant, or you need a good banker, you need a good insurance person, and someone who can be a business growth trainer to take you to the next level, and who has understanding of social media, and has understanding of time management, and basically a good roadmap for your business. I mean, it's mentorship, guidance, training.
Accountability is
Accountability,
a big thing.
that's a big one that you do.
Well, and that goes hand in hand with the time management.
Mhm.
As you're learning to do time management, you need that accountability to keep on it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because it's very easy to fall back into old routines.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
Now, you have an event coming up, though, don't you?
Actually, yeah. So I do events regularly, actually about 3 per week, but I have a big one that comes once per year. That's my social media workshop, and it's only in August every year. It's a 3-day workshop, and it is a long weekend. It for sure is, but it's definitely worth it. So I teach people the differences about social media, all the different platforms, which one that they should be on for their business, because people are usually on the wrong one. They're usually where they're comfortable, not necessarily where their clients are or their prospects.
Right.
I teach them how to post, what to post, when to post, why to post, and then I teach them how to automate it for an entire year, so they don't have to touch social media until the next social media
Awesome.
workshop in August the following year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works out wonderful.
Look at that. Huh?
Yeah, that's
Set
awesome.
it right up.
Yeah.
When is that?
August 16th through 18th. And
Is
actually,
it like at night, all day?
it's all day. It's 9 to 6, all 3 days.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's super
Fantastic.
long.
That's huge.
And in fact, a lot of people that I have had attend the workshop, like, it has changed their business phenomenally. Like, just in those 3 days, like
Wow.
by the work they've done in those
Yeah.
3 days has skyrocketed their business.
That's fantastic. Where do people find out more about this? How can they sign up for it? Where do they do that?
It's on the calendar page of my website, fusebusinesstraining.com.
Fuse, F-U-S-E?
Yep.
Okay,
Well, what does
Fuse.
it stand for again?
Fuse stands for fun, useful, strategic, and easy, which is the baseline of everything I do.
That's right. So fusebusinesstraining.com.
.com. Go to the calendar tab.
Yeah.
However, today is the last day to buy tickets for that event.
Okay.
Mostly because I have to have a head count by Friday. So technically I could take tickets until Friday.
Oh, you're getting an exclusive right
So,
now.
So maybe we do
I'll
this
leave it up-
till
I'll leave it up till Friday.
till Thursday. Let's do Thursday
Okay,
night for it.
Thursday.
Thursday night at
All
midnight.
right, there
So
you
I got
go.
this work.
There you go.
That'd be fantastic.
I'll
For
extend it.
CCSK Law
I'll
watchers
extend
only.
it.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's for
Yeah.
you guys. That's what we provide.
Actually, this sounds like it might be something interesting for my wife. So she was doing a part-time business with LuLaRoe, and so she does some Facebook stuff and things like that. And so she was actually like, me. She just put a comment.
Oh,
So-
did she?
So I think we'll take a look at that.
Yeah,
We'll
definitely.
throw the link into the comments as well when we
It's a
jump
good
off
idea.
here.
That
Yep,
is a good
we'll do
idea.
that. We'll do that. So awesome.
That's
Very
fantastic.
cool. That's exciting. So it's 3 days.
Yep.
Which days is it?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And
we have to figure out how to get her off of work, her regular job.
And
Honey, you
so
might be sick those days.
the good news too is that if you
going
buy a
around.
ticket, you also get the raw video footage. Even if you come,
okay.
you get it for so you can follow up later if you want to rewatch stuff. And if you can't make it to all 3 days, maybe you can make it to 2 or 1. You still get that raw footage so that you can
Okay.
watch it afterwards as well.
Great. Great.
And all the resources, you get access to all that
Yeah.
good stuff.
So, honey, that's Fuse
Business training.
training.com.
Yep.
So, bye. You can log off now, honey.
No,
Love you,
that
dear.
is great.
And so the types of people who come to those usually, because that's one of the things I get asked too, is who's a good fit for that. People who either don't like social media, don't know it, are intimidated by it, or who don't have time to post on social media.
Right.
Also the people who don't have a budget to hire a social media manager. So those are the best people that would fit in for
Okay.
that workshop.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
That sounds good. I
Yeah,
like it.
fantastic. I mean, we definitely try to do our part on a lot of the social media stuff. You know, obviously,
We
tip from the
try.
bar here, right on Facebook Live, where then
Yep.
we download the video,
Someday we'll have
put
a
it on
podcast.
YouTube, working on podcasts,
Yeah.
Because I do think that's going to
put it on Google.
It will.
Yeah.
I have a resource for a guy who does podcasting and he teaches it as well.
Okay.
If you'd like me to share that with you, his name's
Okay.
Emmett. He's a friend of mine.
Oh,
You know
Emmett. Oh,
Emmett,
yeah, I've seen
Right
Emmett
on.
speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
he's
cool.
very powerful and he's good at podcasts. He has like on his podcast, he has like over 1 million views
Oh my
or something
goodness.
like that.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
sick. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild. So that'd be fun. I think we could do well with the podcast.
Yeah.
We've talked about it several times and try to figure out how the pieces fit together. I think we could start even by just taking some of this and cutting it down digitally and putting
I
this
think
as a
so.
podcast.
I think we
Because
could
I think
get
this
started.
could be a great podcast for people to kind of start listening to. So
You
at
could-
least to get going with.
You could technically do it as
supplement
both. So
Right.
while you're videoing, you can have another device recording the podcast.
Right.
You really
Right.
could just do
Look at
it
this.
twice at once.
Yeah.
Tips from the bar already.
Repurpose
Because we can
your
repurpose the
content.
Because we pull
content.
this off and we put it on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And that's one of the things
Yep.
I've been studying lately is taking one thing and then breaking it into different
Yep.
social media, so you don't have to create
Yeah,
everything.
repurposing the content.
Right.
That's a great
So I
thing.
think that one of the things that we were looking at doing is possibly taking this. I've got a Mac at home that I used to use a lot, a Macintosh, and the GarageBand thing on there is really cool because I can take this video, put it in there, strip the audio, and then cut down the audio and do it, and it's fairly easy. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's something that maybe for past episodes we can go back and find some good ones and put them on there. We can get Lindsay on that right away. Go back and
Here
listen to
it is,
those
Lindsay.
old people.
Got some
Right.
work.
So,
Well, she's gonna hate me because she was going through last week. She goes through it and she pulls out tidbits and stuff for us to write on and that kind of thing. And she was just like, I can't hear what you're saying. It was a lot of fun.
one of the things also at the social media workshop is I teach on YouTube on how to get ranked #1 on YouTube.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's something that you'll get at the workshop.
Yeah.
Also at the workshop, it's so exciting. One of our Facebook trainers is a person who is actually part of the Facebook Incorporated. Facebook brought her out to teach their people,
Really?
like to teach their workers how
Wow.
to do this.
Oh,
And
nice.
she's going to be one of the trainers at our Facebook event.
That'll be cool.
So it's big time. In
Yeah.
fact, there's an article coming out about her that Facebook wrote.
Wow,
So
Hey,
it's super cool.
that's cool.
there we go.
So you'll meet a celebrity if you come.
And she's not talking about herself.
I
even
know,
though
it's not me.
Well,
Matt,
It's
I mean,
not me.
it's a two-
But she will sign your autograph if you ask nicely.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sign your baby. All
Sure
of that.
will.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to get into signing babies.
What are the
poisoning
legal
issues.
ramifications
Yes, there
of
could be some
signing? I mean, is there
ramifications there,
ink
so.
poisoning that you could happen
You
and get a
never know.
lawsuit
You never
from
know.
that?
Kids like
Yeah.
get set off with the weirdest things. So who knows?
These days.
Well, we're
Oh.
about out of time. We had a little bit of a restart there, but
We did. We had to
but
jump
not
back into
much,
it.
But not
Um,
much. So
No, but we definitely appreciate you
That's
joining
awesome.
us here.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing this. That was really cool.
For
And I
sure.
think there's a lot of people out, especially because you deal with a lot of businesses. So that's
yeah.
there's potential to reach a good group there. And hey, like I said, my wife is a potential client just because she's doing a small business, and
For sure.
we have
Right.
conversations all the time about well, no, this isn't working. What should I do here? What should I do there? And I try to give some limited help as I can. And,
Yep.
But I think it'd be really cool for her to sit down with somebody that can say, look, here's the visual representation. You're here.
Exactly.
Do this. Do this. Do this.
Yep. And 75% of the people who work with me are actually direct sales and network marketers. Yeah.
Great.
So I'm very familiar
That'd
with
be
the
very
system.
cool. That'd be
Yeah.
very cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that you have realtors. You have quite a few realtors.
Yeah, I have a lot of realtors. I have a doctor. I have a fundraiser. She's a non-for-profit.
So
So
it
when
really
she
gets
says-
out into some different.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it gets into some different areas.
When
For
she
sure.
says there's memberships.
These people pay me monthly to teach
Right.
them.
Right.
Yes.
That's cool.
So there's the
That's like an
workshops.
ongoing thing.
Yes,
So
or
you know-
you can
you know,
join for the.
So many people do
ongoing.
this. They go and they get to like this workshop event and they get real excited, and then for a week or two they go and everything's going great, and then the old routines kick back in. This is a great way then to have an ongoing support that
Yes.
they know they can sign up.
Accountability.
Yeah,
And
that's really cool.
it's funny you say that because actually everything I do is hands-on.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because a friend of mine, we were at a workshop before at a seminar, and we were so excited about what we were learning. And she says to me, "It just sucks. I'm going to go back to work on Monday, and I'm not going to ever have time to. I'm never going to have time to do
To
any of
implement
this."
all this.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What if somebody taught it and made you do it while you were there?"
Right.
And I was
Right.
like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to
Yeah.
make people do what I teach them. So
That's
if I'm doing a Facebook class, they're actually with their laptops with Facebook
Oh,
open
wow.
and working in it. So at the workshop,
That's
you'll
good. So
be
it's not just
bringing
notes. It's like you're going to get
Right.
actual
Oh, yeah.
hands-on experience while you're there.
exactly. So when you leave the
That's really
workshop,
cool.
you'll have a whole marketing plan and most of it automated.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love
All
it.
right.
Sounds good.
Sounds extra exciting. You have until Thursday evening to jump on that.
Courtesy of
CCSK only.
CCSK Law
That's
Special.
right.
Yes.
CCSK
Right?
Law
You get to get
Special.
in there.
Well,
Awesome.
we are CCSK Law here doing our Tips from the Bar tour. We're at Clancy's Irish Pub with some drinks
Stop
and
by.
appetizers. Yeah, feel free to come on down and check this place out.
Yeah.
And then check us
That's
out
nice.
at ccSKLaw.com.
That's right. If you have any questions or you want to ask us anything with regard to either today or any legal questions, right? Feel free to either to go to our website or you can email us at either Kurt@ccSKLaw.com or Isaac@ccSKLaw.com or RG@CCS. It's a really
But our
straightforward.
website, you can also look on the website. If you go on there, it'll have different categories that you can go to,
Yep.
and then you can put a specific question in that category. and
Yes.
it'll come
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
We
kinda
also have a phone number. Feel free to jump
Yeah.
on there. 219-230-3600.
through. It's such an easy number. to remember.
We just it really is. We were pretty happy to get that number. It's
Yeah.
it's
It
pretty.
sounds good. It's got a good ring to
It
it.
does. It does. It flows right off the tongue. But there's so many ways that you can come ask us questions, including coming and joining us next week for Tips from the Bar, where I'm not sure where we'll be, but
And I will say we did have someone here today.
we did.
So when
Somebody
you guys,
came?
I was here a little
Somebody asked
early, and
questions.
so when they came in, I was actually talking with somebody that had a question.
Yeah.
So it was really cool.
That
Yeah,
was
they were
really
able to
cool.
walk over and say, "Hey, I just got a quick question for you," and so I was able to answer a question. I feel like they got a good direction now
Yeah.
where to go. It's
Yeah.
really exciting. So
This
yeah,
is-
feel free to
this
stop
is
in
it.
and see us.
It's what we do.
Awesome.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
You all have a good night. We'll
Now
see
the
ya.
question is, how long is it going to take you to get all the way up there and hit the button? Bye.